Hello, my friends. I am starting a podcast, or at least I'm starting to start a podcast. And so it's going to be kind of a question and answer thing. And so if you have any questions about the things that I'm talking about during this show any day, go ahead and leave a comment and I will try to answer them in the podcast if they're a big question, and if it's a simple question, I might just write back in the description there. So yeah, that's coming up. And while you're there, you can also subscribe to this one if you haven't already. Anyways, we are in Acts chapter 25, and what happens here is first, Felix is gone. His term is over. Felix was the governor of the area that Israel is in, and so Felix is gone, and he has been replaced by a guy named Festus. And right after Festus came in office, he went to Jerusalem and he starts talking to the council there, the Jewish leaders, and they right away start talking about Paul and how they want Paul gone. But they didn't say that directly. What they said was, we want you to bring Paul back to Jerusalem. And the idea was that they were going to have him killed on the way. It said in the previous chapter that some of the people were bound by an oath that they wouldn't eat anything until they had killed Paul. I don't know what happened to those people. I think they took oaths much more seriously than we do now. I mean, we don't even take oaths, but to take an oath, that was a serious thing. But it's been 2 years. Paul has been in jail for 2 years. And the reason that he's been in jail is because Felix didn't want to upset the Jewish leaders. So it said, to as kind of like a gift to the Jewish leaders, he was going to keep Paul in prison. But there was really no reason to keep Paul in prison. It was pretty much a slam dunk case. Everybody knew it. There was nothing against Paul except for the fact that they really, really, really hate Paul. And the reason they really hate Paul is because he's being so successful in spreading the gospel all over the world. And, it's taking away from their power. It's taking away from their beliefs. And so that is what's happening. So Festus says, I'm not going to send him to Jerusalem. I don't know if he saw through what they were trying to do, or if he just didn't want to do it. But he said, why don't you come up and you guys can, see what he has to say yourself. And so they do eventually. And so Paul gives another testimony. He's going to give another one in the next chapter also. But basically he's like, look, I'm not afraid of dying if I've done anything wrong. And essentially the main points of what he says is, there was no witnesses saying that any of these things actually happened. And all they can say about me is that they don't like me. And that's not against the law. So Paul essentially says, I want to appeal to Caesar. Caesar is the emperor of the Roman Empire. Most of you probably already knew that. But at the time that he, when he actually does see the Caesar, it's Nero. And so he's saying, yeah, I want to appeal to Caesar. And after they discuss it for a little while, they say, well, to Caesar you want to go, and to Caesar you will go. So he's appealed to Caesar. The problem is, it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing for Festus. Because Festus is thinking, okay, if I send him to Caesar, then the Jews will be happy with me, and I can keep peace in the land. But the problem is, is that why am I sending him to Caesar? He's done nothing wrong. Like, there's no case here. There's no reason to appeal. He should have just been let go. So he starts talking about this with the king of the Jews. Now, he's not actually a Jewish person. He was kind of installed there as the king of Israel, but he's not a Jewish leader. He's their king, but he's not like a religious king, and he's not really one of them. So it's from the family of Herod. This is Herod Agrippa II. And so he's talking with Herod Agrippa II, and he's like, I've got this problem where there's this guy who's done nothing wrong, and I can't let him go, and now he's appealed to Caesar. And he was thinking, I would have asked you what you think, but he appealed to Caesar already. And Agrippa was kind of interested. He was like, well, I want to hear what he has to say. And so tomorrow, we'll go through that, because he actually does present his case before Agrippa, but there's nothing really to be done about it. He can't really set him free. It's just 100% curiosity. The cool part about this is that when it first started, when the ministry of Paul first started, Jesus, in his vision to him, said that he would appear before Jews and Gentiles and before kings. And so here's this part being prophesied. There was no reason for King Agrippa to see him, but he wants to see him anyways. So that's what he does. So King Agrippa shows up, and I think when he comes, it says he comes with great pomp. That seems like a pretty good descriptor of my understanding of what the Herods are like. And it says he comes with his wife. Now, his wife is also his sister. And in the previous chapter, the wife of Felix was also there. Felix's wife was also their sister. So this whole family's kind of like at the epicenter of the political world, in every aspect. The kingship and the governorship, and the Herods basically have all of it. Interesting though, this is the last ruling Herod that will ever be. So that's kind of the end of the Herod line. Anyways, that is Acts chapter 25. I hope you stick around for the next one. This is where you'll hear Paul giving his case before Herod, and it's actually really good. So, all right, have a great day. Bye.